Good morning, everybody. I say good morning, good afternoon, everybody, on this September 11th, 20-year anniversary of the World Trade Center, Pentagon, and of course the Flight 93 attacks in the United States. I'm going to sort of jump on the bandwagon here, although I don't like necessarily jumping on the bandwagon for a lot of things, but what I wanted to discuss with you today is, and this is basically what were you doing 20 years ago today. This is a Saturday. It fell 20 years ago on a Saturday, this September 11th. And I was living in Geneva, or I was living near Geneva. I was living in a place called Saint-Sergue, above Nyon, along the Lake Geneva. And I was working that day. I was working in a shop in Geneva selling outdoor tactical just all kinds of equipment. It was a very busy Saturday. Matter of fact, all my colleagues were there that Saturday. It was just a very busy Saturday, and we were very busy with lots of clients in the shop. We had a very small shop, about 65 square meters, downtown Geneva, and like I said, we were selling outdoor tactical, police, military, security, all this kind of equipment, and everything from sleeping bags and tents to M65 field jackets to knives and flashlights, everything you can imagine. Anyway, and it was just bustling. It was loads of people coming in, and I would say we opened the shop about 10 o'clock that morning, which is the usual Saturday time. And I would say probably around 3 o'clock, something like that, people started coming in, or maybe a little later, and just asking me, have I heard, have I seen, do I know what's going on? And I was like, I had no idea what was going on. I'd been working the whole morning, and I'm a 6-hour time difference between New York and Geneva. So I had no idea what was going on. For me, it was just a really good Saturday when it comes to business, and work. So quite... I was concentrating primarily on that, but people was constantly coming in who knew I was an American, who knew me, or coming in, and I was seeing shock in the face of people. They were talking about how some planes had hit, or a plane had hit one of the World Trade Center in New York, and it was on fire, and then more people came in telling me a second plane had hit. And now remember, this was 20 years ago, and a different time. I couldn't just look on my phone, my smartphone, because at that time all I had was a Nokia 3212 or something like that, or Nokia telephone 3216, whatever it was. I don't remember the name of it, which one was, but I had a little small Nokia phone. I wasn't getting feedback from it or internet live or whatever, So, and at that time also in the shop we had internet, but it was analog, so it wasn't like we were having to concentrate primarily on what we were doing, logging, as we dealt with clients, but yeah, people kept coming in, and then finally someone come in and said that, that the building had fallen, and in my mind I was thinking a building falling down, and just, oh my gosh, the devastation that must be happening there. And I was thinking about the people who probably, were killed, it was really just sort of, but I was staying busy. And I remember at the end of the day, I left, and we had closed. At that time, we were closing on Saturday. We had to close like 5 o'clock, and then by 5:30, I was out of the shop. Now, if you think about this was already 5:30. It was probably about 11. It was 11:30 in New York. So I remember, getting to where my car was at. I jumped in my car, was driving home, and now, I hadn't spoken to my wife at the time, and my kid, she had my kids. My son was born in 89, at the end of November 89, and my daughter, she was born in 2000, and she was not yet a year old at that time. So she was out with them, walking, and just because she stayed busy with them on the weekends, that kind of stuff. And so I was heading home, and I remember turning on the local English-speaking radio channel, because I really disliked listening to French radio at that time. But even now, I don't listen to any radio whatsoever. But and on the way home, hearing about these planes had hit the World Trade Center, and that there was some talk about the Pentagon and this kind of stuff like that, and people were on their way home, and I was on my way home, excuse me. But I remember getting home at probably about 6 o'clock and turning on the TV. And at that time, the only thing we had news-wise, I mean, at that time, I only had CNN. So I turned CNN on, and it was just pictures of what was going on and what had happened so far, and the towers falling, and you were getting this live information. And it was, I remember sitting on the, we had a footrest in front of the television, and I remember sitting on that, and I didn't move until well after, that evening. And I think I just was still dressed for work. I hadn't undressed or anything. I saw I'd taken my shoes off, my jacket off, because I think, well, it was a warm day. Maybe I just had that was it. I was just sitting there. I don't remember exactly what was going on around me. I just remember watching. My eyes were glued to that television set. And then as more and more information came on, I was thinking, well, we're in war now. And at that time, I had been out of the Army already since '96. And so I'd been out of the Army already 5 years, and I was thinking, well, I got to go back into the Army. And I remember calling my mom, and the first thing she told me, because Mike, you have a wife and kids now, so you better not get involved. There's a lot of young men out there who can do this. You've already done your time, and you got more other responsibilities. But I was thinking about, just the opposite. I was thinking actually, my responsibilities are to my wife and kids, so I need to get out there. I needed to get out there and join up. And I remember contacting a recruiter within the following week. And at that time, I guess everybody was contacting recruiters after that following week. And they'd asked me, I said, listen, yeah, I was prior service, this and that, blah, and told them what I had done in the Army. And they said, well, we'll get back in touch with you if we need you, basically. And then, and of course, they didn't. But there's some aspects of me I wish I'd gone back in. I just would have just screw it, and then just gone to Germany and joined back up just to be a basic infantryman or whatever, and get back in the fight, and done something, but I didn't. So it's a lot of what ifs. But that's what happened to me on this day, 20 years ago. Talking to my family and talking to loved ones, and just seeing what had happened. Now, of course, we have a lot more insight, and we still, although we know who had done it, always that question of who was behind it. Okay, and now you look at what's going on right now in Afghanistan, what has happened in Iraq. You got to wonder who's really behind all this stuff, and so. I have to question that myself. Other people, you do what you want to, what you think you need to do. But for me, I have to question all that, and I have to question the whole concept of why we're in it in the first place. But when should we have gotten out? I think the moment we got Osama bin Laden, we should have gotten out. Who are the enemies now? Well, of course, the Taliban, ISIS, Pakistan, these kind of people. And even other countries within the region, they are still our enemies. And we have to be careful of them. We should not be turning a blind eye to them. And sadly, I'm about to say something politically. This current political administration is turning a blind eye to everything. They have completely just screwed up the whole situation. As usual, the same way the Clintons did, the same way Carter did, the same way basically even Baby Bush did, and definitely the way Obama did, and now this current fella and his administration, Anyway, we should have left there a long time ago. We should have moved on, and I am one to believe that we have to keep our eye on that region, and it's best to sort of be in the area a good bit. We still have 5,000 troops in Iraq, in Syria, in that area right there, and we're going to need to keep. We should have kept an element of security somewhere in Afghanistan. The situation right now, okay, it's bloody, it's messy, it's ugly, very ugly. The war is ugly. Problem is that we're not allowed to fight ugly wars the way we should be fighting ugly wars, And if they allow the military to do its job, believe me, it might be a completely different ball game right now anyway. Keep the politicians out. Anyway, listen, that's what happened to me 20 years ago. No big deal on my part, but a big deal on other parts. And I still pray for the families of the victims of 9/11, and I pray for all the families of the men and women who have lost their lives since then, who've been wounded in battle, who are still suffering every day with what happened 20 years ago. And I pray for you and hope the best for you. And I thank you for what you've given. Anyway, God bless everybody. And I pray that we all can get through all this ourselves and get something better out of it. Hope you all have a happy weekend. And on this September the 11th, 2021, excuse me. And I hope to be back with you again soon. Take care of yourselves, and may you all have a blessed weekend. Goodbye.